Karate, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, and boxing. What do they all have in common? They move their feet. Ow. 4 different instructors, 4 different perspectives. How different will each martial arts style's footwork be? We'll talk about how they move offensively and defensively, if they're aggressive or being defensive, if they create angles or if they pull back and create distance. And then lastly, we'll tie it all together with the style's purpose. Why are they moving the way that they move? Master David Wright! All right, let's talk about some footwork here at Master Chung's Martial Arts. Give me like the basic rundown for an Olympic stance.
All right, yeah, sure. Taekwondo sets itself apart because we stand so bladed to our opponent. So we're very sideways. And the reason is to take that point sparring system and turn it away from our opponent.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a dominant leg, a leg that we like to keep in front, I would say 95+% of the time. In Taekwondo, we work on a lot of sliding.
Okay.
So sliding in or sliding back, but keeping that same stance throughout. So you don't want to bring your feet together too much.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring your feet apart too much.
Yeah.
Trying to starting position, finish position, same. And it works forwards, backwards, right, and left. I would say Taekwondo plays a little bit more of the forward-backwards game.
Oh, okay.
So that when we fight, a lot of what we do with our kicks is going to be on the outside of the range.
Sure.
So I don't want to be in a position that for me to get away from your kick, I have to make a huge motion backwards. I'm kind of dancing on the outside of that range, seeing if I can bait a kick in so I can easily avoid and counter.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you guys are like fairly sideways, a lot of the movement that you have with your feet is like, it's super capable this way. It's a little bit harder this way, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
How far are you stepping? If you're teaching it, like you're teaching drilling, moving across the mat or in the opposite direction, how far are your feet usually going?
Where my back foot is, my front foot's gonna replace, boom.
Sure.
And that's gonna be kind of like that standard 1-2 practice. Go forward, go backwards.
Yeah.
Forward, forward, backwards, backwards.
Yeah.
And that's the way we really drill it.
Yeah.
Then of course, like you said, we can adjust the distance based on the range.
Sure. But you're willing to cover like a full body's worth.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you have a like special move that is super Taekwondo based? You probably won't see it in many other martial arts.
What's called patambat, or sliding fast kick, which is gonna actually, where I pick up the back leg first, so it's a little bit more hidden, but you don't get to see this front leg
especially
move.
since you're sideways.
And this is gonna allow me to cover more distance. So now, when I pick up that back leg, it's gonna actually replace in front of where that front leg was.
Wow.
So maybe if I motion, I see that you're inching backwards, instead of kicking where you are, I wanna kick where you will be. So I'm gonna skip it further and go cover more distance.
Very like Bruce Lee-esque.
In several different ways. So of course I have my front leg side kick, but what I like to do is bring up that front leg and use it as that lead leg axe kick, or it can turn into a crescent kick. I think it's well hidden, well disguised.
Yeah, your body's going backwards, which makes it feel like the space doesn't change much. Boom, and then all of a sudden you're like 5 inches closer and you're dropping. He's actually hitting at this point, which is why I'm like, Master David Wright, anything you'd like to plug to the people?
Just stop by Master Chung's Martial Arts, come see us, come say hi, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
All right, it is Muay time. That was a good one, right? You like that? This is Josh Brackett from 36 Chambers Muay Thai and Fitness. Kind of like walk us through the process of how you guys move. We talked about before like the stance, right? And the purpose behind the stance. If you want to get some more information on that and why each of these styles stand the way they do, you can look at this video right here.
And I like Muay Thai, you always think of it's like a plotting style.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys in Muay Thai that don't plot. So you need to have mobility. It's a little more tied to the ground than say karate or taekwondo or boxing.
Okay.
Just based on the scoring system and how the strikes are thrown. So front foot is at 12 o'clock. If I'm gonna move backwards, I'm gonna push with the front foot and I just kind of slide it with me. You can step. I generally like to slide. That way I'm tied to the ground.
I was gonna say, you've got that connection with the ground the whole time.
Yeah, so my hands are up, my hips are forward, facing my opponent so I can, block, defend, see everything. If I'm gonna go to my right, I'm a southpaw, I'm gonna lead with my right.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go to the left, I'm gonna lead with my left, I'm gonna go back, stop. And then moving forward, I do the same thing that I'm doing with my lead foot as I slide my back foot.
Yeah.
So I'm tied to the ground, I can push off.
How big are these steps?
It's generally like a half of a step forward.
Okay.
Half step forward, half step forward. It depends, if I need to move faster, I'll take bigger steps.
And that makes sense because you guys are like always trying to keep balance.
Yeah, right. We gotta be able to block, we gotta be able to kick.
Range is a little bit closer, right?
The footwork is more subtle.
Okay.
It's not as bouncy. It's not as, not moving as much as a boxer.
Right.
Just because, like, when you're throwing kicks, if I'm constantly moving, I don't have time to absorb the kick.
Yeah, right.
Block the kick, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we move a little less, but it's still, you know, subtle movement. I'm still trying to find angles.
Right.
It should be, you know.
Talk about some of the things that you're going to do defensively with your footwork.
So yeah, generally, if I'm going to defend with my legs and my, you know, my footwork, I'm going to use my check, or I'm just going to hop back out of the way, just to let that kick slide by me.
Got it.
Those are about the two that I do most of the time.
Yeah.
You can bring that foot back to parallel. As you progress, guys will sweep.
Yeah,
when
right.
You do this when you get stuck here, but you know, once or twice it'll work.
Sure.
So I can defend this way, I can move this way.
Yeah.
I can pivot, like in boxing, I can step off to the side if I need to, obviously.
You guys have the ability to like methodically kind of prod and then also be able to be like, whoop, and pop back.
A lot of that is just the waiting game, just
Yeah.
kind of just gauging, seeing what your opponent's
Sure,
going to do.
stylistically, stuff like that.
Yes.
Muay Thai also has like a different aspect of the game that a lot of these other styles don't have, and that's the clinch.
A lot of times in the clinch, I'm squared up a little bit more. I can have my leg back if
Yeah.
I'm looking to, you know, knee and exit.
Sure.
But a lot of times when we're clinching, we are a little more squared up.
Right.
And I'm stepping when I'm pulling and things of that nature.
A lot of the stuff is like kind of like rotational based.
Yeah. It's like you push on me, I'll pull you, or vice versa. You know, I'm pushing and pulling. I'm trying to move and open up space for knees.
Well, the volume is crazy.
Yeah, especially the ties. It's just kick.
Pop, pop, pop,
So
pop,
they
pop.
have to be, you know, they have to be completely balanced and able to do that.
And then for each style, I'm gonna ask that you give us like a specialty.
So defensively, maybe just like the lean back. To avoid mainly a head kick, sometimes a body kick if you can get out of the way, I'll just lean back on the strike and I'm still in range. So the difference from this one is I'm not moving my front foot, I'm moving my back foot, and I'm using my lead arm as a counterbalance, and I'm gonna use my rear leg and lean back a little bit. So I'm gonna go here and lean back. So some guys will do a straight back.
Yeah.
Some will go off to the side so they can create an angle to strike.
Okay.
But it's generally the same thing. I want that kick to sail by me, but I'm not giving up any ground.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right, so if you kick at me, I'm leaning back and I'm still able to hit you. What happens sometimes is you get stuck if you keep both hands up. Here, so I use my back leg to get out of danger. You know, I can kick too if I wanted to. So that's one in Muay Thai you don't necessarily see.
Anything you want to say to the people, Coach?
Or check out the gym if you're in Holly Springs.
There it is.
What's going on? Coach Lucas, Jawbreaker Boxing, Raleigh, NC.
We're going to talk about boxing footwork now.
I like to say your feet are your first line of defense. You got head movement, you got good guard catches, but if you're nowhere near them, it doesn't matter what punch they throw or what angle if you're not in range and you need your feet. If I'm starting, you walk into Jawbreaker and say, hey, I want to start boxing or whatever, and I teach you, all right, we're starting at the beginning.
Yeah.
I get you in your stance, all right? So we already know a little bit about that. Think like you're gripping the ground with the ball of your feet. So we're on our toes, we're not on our tippy toes, but we're here. I'm never here, and that's important when I take this first step. All right, from there, I say, so go toe down as that front foot moves. Toe down, however far that front foot moves, the back foot moves the same amount. So get them maintaining the stance. That's the same thing when I go backwards. My back foot will lead the way now. Step, 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 step. Side to side, my right foot will lead going right. Front foot falls in position. Step, going left. Left foot leads the way. Back foot, my right foot falls in position.
How big are the steps that you're taking?
Right, it depends on, look, if I got somebody hurt and they're right here, then it's gonna be some big steps and I'm gonna get in to do the job, getting them out of there and whatnot. But in general, when we're just moving at that chest pace, right, small steps. I like to say lower to the ground and then as minimal movement as possible, because the more exaggerated it is, doesn't matter how good you do it, it takes longer to finish an exaggerated movement to get you to the point that you're trying to set up, which is a punch or an angle out or something.
Cool. So, opposite foot. Do you have any specific mindset with your back foot? Like, is it stepping? Is it sliding?
A lot of people ask that. They're like, should I drag it? I'm not gonna say that's wrong. Like, I can still maintain my stance, dragging it here. If you're in a habit of always just dragging that foot, you're probably gonna catch on something. It might mess with your balance a time or two. So I definitely prefer stepping, but it's not big steps in any direction by any means. They're very subtle. You're staying low to the ground, which goes hand in hand with keeping your knees bent as you move.
What are some of the offensive movements that you guys have if you're like trying to walk somebody down, you're throwing punches while moving forward? What are the thought processes?
Honestly, it's the same blueprint format as keeping your stance from moving. I'm not gonna walk somebody down like this. It's all the same rules apply, but I will say, as I'm doing that, if it's a very competitive fight, I'm gonna be feinting and changing levels as I'm going in. So it's not just a me get to you and punch. That's a little easier to deal with than if I'm constantly, you don't know when I'm punching. It doesn't matter what I throw, how many punches I throw, how many different ways I move around. As I stop, I'm in the exact same stance I started in.
One last thing, I let everybody have like a specialty move.
Like a Lomachenko type style footwork. A lot of times Lomachenko is moving to the outside of that front foot, like touching something, just slightly flashing and shuffling on the outside of that front foot, getting there quickly. Here, because I'm here, I'm bringing that hand back to my head, I'm shifting off my front foot, back foot comes up first, back foot lands first, front foot follows. I'm in my stance off that slight angle to work. My back foot still never crosses the plane of my front foot. And it's the same thing going backwards. I do it more for creating distance. I like to shift to load up a left hand off of creating space. I like to shuffle back because that loads my left hand. Left uppercut.
Are you replacing your lead foot there?
Alright, so I'm matching my feet here.
Yep.
I'm imagining my target, boom, is right here in front of me. I'm getting that angle.
Boom, boom.
So like he said, replacing my back foot, right? In this situation, more of a stationary use of it.
Yep.
I'm aiming my feet now here, right?
I appreciate you so much. Is there anything you'd like to plug to the people?
Actually, yes. We recently started a virtual online program.
Yep.
So jawbreakervirtual.com. Our exact program of classes that you get in the gym, it's a full body workout. We're still working boxing with it. It's not like a Taibo class where I'm just saying swing any way.
You guys have seen how much detail he puts into his craft. You're gonna like the course. Appreciate you.
Oh man, thank you.
Okay, I am going to be your resident karate boy for the evening. Actually, I just got a really good idea. Hold on. Wonderboy!
What's up, everybody? This is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Probably asking yourself, why am I on this channel right now? But the greatest sensei in all the land has asked me to go over and break down some of my basic footwork. Karate footwork. When it comes to footwork, and this is how we're taught in karate, number one, my karate stance is a little bit wider than most. Anytime I'm moving, I'm always on my toes. Never do I want to be flat-footed. So if I'm moving forward, I give myself a little bounce and I move forward inch by inch with my feet this far apart. Example, I move forward like so. That way I'm always ready to fire or to move. If I'm backing up, kind of the same thing. I'm going here, right? Those little movements that I'm doing put myself in position real quick, ready to throw a punch or a kick. So that way if my opponent comes in real fast, boom, I can sit down and fire and not have to wait for myself to set my back foot back in order to throw.
Thoughts on footwork offensively? Do you change it up defensively?
No, I don't really change it up.
Yeah.
The good thing about this karate stance is that you don't have to change much offensively and defensively to make things work. I'm ready to defend or ready to step back and throw a strike. Offensively, I'm always in position to go forward, to blitz if I have to. I'm always in position to throw a punch. As a karate stylist, I love to move side to side and stay in good position, obviously, ready to throw my strikes. When you're out in the open and I got an opponent's coming at me, I do want the ability to step off to the side or even step off to the side, angle change if I'm going at a guy. Little serpentine action. So what I do from here, number one, when I step off to the side, I like to go back foot first. If an opponent's coming at me, not only do I want to step off to the side, but maybe back just a little bit. Boom, I'm still in position. Back foot steps first, almost like a reverse shuffle. Back foot steps, boom, and I'm ready to fire. Either kick or throw a punch. I can also do the same way and go back the other way, correct? And you don't see a whole lot of guys move that direction really. I mean, you see him kind of do one of these Muhammad Ali. So I do the back foot first. Now, normally I'll do this off of a technique because it enables me to lean that direction to be able to step. My side-to-side movement is basically a reverse shuffle forward and a reverse shuffle back, like so. And I've got my hook kicks, and I've got my right hands, I got my jabs, I got my side kicks off of both techniques. Karate stylists work both sides. We put in the time to work my right side and my left side ability. That just gives you more weapons in your arsenal. So work both sides. Last but not least, something that's unique to karate is the blitz. Now there are different types of blitzes and the way people teach it. Again, you are my opponent and I'm standing directly in front of you. When I stand kind of sideways, it also chambers this back leg, ready to go that way very fast. Now if you notice, I'm I'm kind of slightly leaning forward. I'm not really upright. Just like world-class sprinters, my back foot is slightly up. Now I'm ready to go that way. Now, just like you walk, right? When you're walking, my right foot and my left hand is out in front, right? Kind of walk like so. It's opposites that come out in front. It's natural. Right now, my left foot's in front. So I want to throw my backhand first, right? Boom. Now, if you notice why I step is because I'm launching myself forward. I'm really not sitting down on that too. I'm reaching out for it. When I step with my back foot, I immediately throw the other hand, just like walking. Boom, boom, boom. Normally when I do a blitz, I'll blitz probably 2 or 3 punches and then I'm off to the side. I give myself like a 2-second rule. If I'm doing anything longer than 2 seconds, I need to move to something else. My opponent will figure it out. So it looks something like this. Now, you gotta be careful of doing this blitz of coming up too high. You don't want your opponent to drop and get a double leg on you. Shout out GSP. I like to do it off of a bounce. It makes it harder for my opponent to see it coming. And one more time, real quick. Well, a little bit faster. I just ate, so as you can tell. So I can't, my movement's a little off.
Plus the weight distribution is off and it throws off the mechanics.
Yeah, so I gotta suck it in, you know?
Yep.
So, off of a bounce, spinning up a little bit more for you, pushing off that back foot. Just like so. Woo! That, my friends, is the Blitz! Thank you, Sensei. Since I'm on here, make sure you guys go follow the old channel, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Thank you.
And now just a quick little rapid speed breakdown of the similarities, differences, and uniquities of each of these styles of footwork. Ready, go! Okay, so Taekwondo obviously has a super wide stance. They kick a bunch, but they don't necessarily go up and down like karate does. They don't bounce so much because they are trading back and forth, which is different than the karate way where you get 1 point and then you get out, or the Muay Thai way where you hang out and you create a little bit more damage. However, similar to Muay Thai, they do want to be able to kick at any time, so they do slide their opposite foot when moving. Okay, Muay Thai. Muay Thai is super rooted, but they are still super reactive. I mean, look at how many different things they have to attack with and defend with. Their stance is somewhat square and a little bit more upright, which means that they can pick up their foot at any given moment, which is super important. However, it also means that their movements forwards, backwards, left, to right are going to be a little less explosive. One thing that makes Muay Thai's footwork unique is its ability to move people. Think about the clinch, it's stand-up grappling. Being able to toss somebody from a standing position is important. Boxing. Boxing is unlike any of these styles because it only uses hands, which means the footwork has to be way more precise because if you only stand there and punch, then you're going to get punched. Because of the difference in the range and the speed of the hands, you have to be able to create offensive, defensive opportunities in different ways, like using your footwork. Because they don't really have to worry about kicks or knees to the head, they can move their head a little bit more, which means that they can get a little bit more explosive movements because they're leaning. Also, boxing was the only style that didn't slide their opposite foot when they were moving in direction, which I think has something to do with the shoes. I would imagine it's the shoes, right? Last one, karate. Karate is a martial arts style that is predicated on mitigating damage while inflicting damage. I'm talking traditional and what is now more sporty. This style of karate is all about creating distance and covering ground. Their lowered stance and bouncing footwork means that they can react at any time. They're always loaded, they're always bouncing, they're always loaded around, and they can explode at any given moment. When calmly moving around, they're very, very small bouncy steps. However, when it becomes action time, they make big, huge steps and cover lots of space. Alright, thanks for watching.